Hey guys, welcome back to Football Ninja with Amit and Karthik. Today we witnessed Arsenal playing against Liverpool in the Community Shield and winning it for the 16th time. We will also talk about transfer rumors and we'll also address the elephant in the room, Messi's transfer. So Karthik is joining me. Karthik, what an amazing win for Arsenal today.
Yeah, started the month with a win, the FA Cup final,
Yeah, yeah.
ending the month with another shield, another cup, the Community Shield. So it's a good start to the season. I'm sure Liverpool would be, Jurgen Klopp would be upset. He
Mhm.
starts the season with a loss, but then, I've always heard about Community Shields. Everybody says it's just a shield or it's just a cup, like doesn't matter. But then it's a cup end of the day. So
And also
and a medal.
it's also the starting of the season and you start with a win or start with
Yeah,
a cup in your hand.
yeah, and but I think Arsenal deserved it. They played
Mm.
really well. They defended well up until the goal that went in. But I
Mm.
think overall Arsenal looked a much better side than what we have seen last season, most of last season. Um, and yeah, so I think they deserved it. They deserved the win. So
I also
congrats to
kind of
them.
liked the Aubameyang goal that he scored in the 12th
Oh,
minute.
that yeah,
It was a
that
classic
was an amazing goal.
Aubameyang curling in from the right hand side. It was pretty good. And I think Arsenal also kept their cool in penalties. The
Yeah.
way they scored, the youngsters coming in, scoring like it's nobody's business, was, was pretty good.
Yeah.
And just to point it out, I am also liking the current jersey. Going back to
Oh
the
yeah.
retro Thierry Henry colors, it's
The
pretty good.
the the retro away jersey, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really good. Yep, yep.
Also, Karthik, just to make sure Manchester United is also in the conversation, Arsenal is second only to Manchester United to win Community Shield.
Yeah, yeah. I think they just left behind Liverpool. To come in second. I think they were tied at
Yes,
15.
yes.
So now they are above them. But yeah, so good for you. They're still behind United. Yeah, you know. So
And
yeah,
I think good start for Arteta. Can't really call it a new season. It's actually they won the last. It's a double for Aubameyang in
yeah,
Wembley in a month, and
yeah.
good start for them. I hope Arsenal plays the season like this, comes back as how they always used to be the top four team. But it's a long journey for them too, right?
Yeah, they did play well, but I don't think they still have the squad yet, to compete for the top four. At the moment, they at least need a couple of defenders, and then so a couple of midfielders to at least, start looking like a team who can compete for top four. But for me, I think they still are a little far away from that. But I think they're
Hmm.
gonna be better than what they were last season. You already saw glimpses of how they play has changed since Arteta has come in. So they would definitely do well as compared to the last season, but I think they're still far away from a top four spot. Yeah,
Also, Karthik, in the first half, they looked very solid in defense. They were.
yeah,
It's not that Liverpool had a bad first half, but then the way Arsenal held their line back in defense, especially, was
yeah.
pretty good. Even though they had Lewis, but then they were pretty they were pretty good in that. And
Yeah,
and what is your impression on the Liverpool side, right? So Minamino comes in and scores the goal. Uh, how much would you rate him as a player?
to be very honest, I haven't seen him
Mhm.
play well since he's joined Liverpool. Yeah, there are some glimpses he played really well in Bundesliga when he was there, but I think he's still not there yet to play for a team like Liverpool. Probably, he's a good player. He's not a bad player,
Mhm.
but then
Mhm.
when you compare him with the likes of Mane, Salah,
Mhm.
the kind of players that Liverpool has, I think he still has to learn a lot. But yep, probably we would see the best of him, because Klopp is known for that. Getting the best out of the players. So he's just been here 6 months. So let's see next season. Hopefully we see more of him.
Do you think will he go in the same path as Naby Keita? He also came in with really good
Al-
standards, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
then coming in and was not able to kind of do what he was doing in Bundesliga.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know. We still have to wait and see that.
Because every time I
But
see Minamino has the ball, he wants to score the goal,
yeah, yeah,
which which is kind of so. It's I know it's Liverpool. They have their at least front line is definite. They
yeah,
know what they'll start with, and then you can't come in and over like they're kind of being overshadowed by the front team.
yeah,
And,
exactly. Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you have to prove as much as possible. So every time you get the ball, you want to score. Otherwise, there's no chance of you in the starting 11 at all.
Exactly. So, but then that also puts that kind of pressure on the player, right? To to score or to at least assist, at least assist or score a goal. That sort of puts the pressure. So what I see right now, he gets a couple of minutes. Any game that he plays. Whenever wherever he gets a ball, he just wants to shoot and score a goal to impress the manager. But I think that sort of is putting a lot of pressure on players as well, which should not be the case, to be very honest. But then, yeah, that happens. We've also seen that with a lot of other players as well. Right? So we've seen that with Batshuayi in Chelsea, who gets like 5 minutes or 6 minutes, at the end of the game, and he'll just shoot from wherever he gets the ball. So that happens. But it's a tough thing to get into a playing level
Yeah,
for
yeah,
such a side.
yeah.
So yeah, they all want to prove themselves, right? So
Yeah, so I think it was a great game, and coming back to the bad luck of Aubameyang with the trophies, I think he broke FA Cup trophy, and today there was no medal left for him.
yeah, I'm sure he'll get one, but you know.
So they forgot one just for him.
Do not have the money for it.
Yeah.
He gets to keep the shield
Oh,
to himself. Anyway,
so I think it's a good start for the season for both the teams and also the fans who have been waiting for football back. I think this is
Yeah.
the fastest football has ever come back. And then
Yeah.
talking about transfers now, Karthik, and especially when you focus on Premier League, I think we can have one episode only dedicated to Chelsea, right?
of course. I mean, they had, I think, 3 transfers in 3 days.
Yeah.
So really happy about that. They also had their first preseason game. I think, today with Brighton, Werner and CH playing. Werner took just 3 minutes to score his first goal. 3 or 4 minutes. Amazing cross by CH. Nicely added down by Hudson-Odoi and scored. The game drew. I mean, it was a 1-1. But yeah, I mean, we at least that's a start. So let's see how that turns out. I think Thiago Silva, yes, I mean there are a lot of mixed reactions, right? We've seen he's turning 36. He's people say he's old, he's not good enough, but he's done well for the last 8 seasons he's been in PSG. So Premier League is a whole different thing,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes, yes.
So, but let's see how does he do. He's a world class defender, no doubt. It's not going to be as easy as he's had in Liga, but let's see. Hopefully, but I think the reason also why Chelsea got him was to get some sort of a leader in the back line. Right now there's nobody who does that, or at least a leader in the dressing room, right? So they wanted somebody who can do that. So probably that is also one reason why he's there. But great signing. For me, I think it's a great signing in that aspect at least.
Scott, is a quick question regarding him, right? So he is not going to be that defender who runs both the boxes, tries to score one and then runs back. He's not going to be that. I don't think Chelsea has got him for that. He's definitely going to be the one who's the anchor, who plays the anchor role in defense, and then there are people around him. So looking at the current squad, who do you think would be the best partner for him in Chelsea?
Right now, probably Rudiger. He's the most experienced out of the lot. But then we have seen last season. He also has his flaws. But then again, there is somebody missing, right, to control that back line, and it's just shambles in some games. So I think probably it would be Rudiger. My point of view, I think it would be Rudiger who would start most of the games with him, or Zuma. Who would start the game because he's more of a left-footed defenders. So probably Zuma or Rodiger would start along with Chilwell and Azpilicueta, completing the back line.
So, but Chilwell is not fit enough, right?
Yeah, he's fit, but probably he would probably miss a couple, like a week or two at the start. So I mean, there's Alonso. So if the back line is fixed, if the goalkeeper is fixed, I think that sort of solves a lot of issues. And then you also wouldn't raise those sort of fingers on Alonso, what people have been doing all this while. So he's not a bad player, right? He's really good going
Yeah,
forward.
yeah.
His defensive qualities are what are lacking. So I think that will sort of solve the issue. And I think when Chilwell is fit, he's going to be a regular in the team for sure.
But didn't Chilwell get Alonso's jersey number?
Oh, but Alonso was playing with number 3 today, so I'm confused. I don't know what's happening there.
Karthik, one more thing here. So I think now what Chelsea is doing is a big fuck you for the ban that they got for transfer last season.
Yeah.
And I think now Lampard is just roaming with fucking empty checks, like going wherever he goes.
Sacks of cash, So
Like
if you see there is.
And also just to realize, I think Chelsea is still in the hunt to buy a keeper, right?
Yeah. So I just read today that they have begun talks with AC Milan for Donnarumma, who is a highly rated keeper.
Yeah,
again.
absolutely.
And then there's Maignan, that guy, and then there's Kai Havertz, who's pending, who's coming. I think. So what I last read was, Leverkusen is sort of holding on to him so that they can sign a replacement first and then, sell him. That is sort of holding out. And then there is keeper, there's Kai Havertz. So yeah, I think there are a couple of more signings. There's Declan Rice, which again is sort of coming up again and again, that Chelsea is gonna go in for him to get him into the defensive line. He's primarily a defensive midfielder, but he can play at the back also, and Lampard wants him there. So let's see how does the transfer window end, but definitely, I mean, I think if they get all three, they're gonna end up spending more than 300 million in this transfer season alone.
So as I said, there's a big F you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And also, it's more, isn't it like an addict going back to his addiction? Like, I want to sign players.
But if you see in a way, they also got a lot of money, right? From Eden Hazard, from Morata, they at least got like 160, 170 million, right? So that's a good amount of money. And then spending another 100 on top of that is not a big deal for a guy like Roman Abramovich, right? So
that's true.
That's fair. That's not bad.
So from Chelsea moving to the club which is doing absolutely nothing in this transfer season, and if you guys can guess which club I'm talking about, please comment below. It's obviously Manchester United. Karthik, what's with Manchester United? I know you're not a fan, but then obviously all of us follow the transfer and how it is happening. And personally for me, I know there's always a plan A, plan B, right? So if Sancho was not coming in, and if they didn't feel like Sancho was worth the money that Dortmund was quoting, so what was the plan B, and then I feel that as a fan, it's absolutely the transfer window for Man U is in shambles because we have not done a single signing.
Yeah, no, I mean, see, Sancho coming. I mean, we were all sure, right? Sancho is gonna be a United player next season. This has been going on from last season, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And we thought, and then you sort of read, and I think if it wasn't for Corona or COVID-19, I think he would have come in. It's just that the money thing where I sort of read that they don't want to take a risk, spending 120 million, and what if he doesn't perform well? But then it's a gamble, right? And I mean, with any signing,
that's my problem, right? So unfortunately, what people don't understand, especially Man U fans, don't understand that okay, there are excuses and there are probably genuine reasons why they can't buy Sancho, which can be Corona, which can be the amount of money they're asking for him.
Correct.
But Corona is a problem which is universal, not just in Manchester United. So we can see Man City going all out. You can
Yeah.
see Liverpool going all out. You can see Chelsea absolutely, going all out. That's a different story altogether. And then you're talking about a club which has the highest valuation on planet Earth,
Yeah.
right? And then they're talking about money as if they don't have any. And then, so in the entire scenario, where as a Manu fan, I don't want to see Manu's Instagram handle posting, the player of the season in the award at Manchester. Yeah, okay, that's great, but I also want to see some new player joining. I don't care if he's young,
Yeah.
he's old, but I want to see that initiative taken by the club so that there is a kind of rebuilding. Because if you can't say this bunch of lads are good,
Correct.
because if they were good
Right.
enough, then we would have won Premier League last season, right? If they are not good enough, there is certain things that are missing. So how are you going to fix that problem or fix those gaps by getting new players? And I don't see those happening. And then every player who comes in, wherever he is, so Thiago Silva was also coming in Manchester United, right? And Messi is also
Yeah.
there. Messi apparently the best alternative for Sancho, right? So you see all those fucking rumors all around, and then
Yeah.
end of the season you get absolutely nothing.
I mean, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, I can be completely wrong here, but I think there is, every club has a project, right? I think that is what is something that is somewhat missing right now in United. To build that project, I think, to still get out of, I think United is still struggling to get out of Ferguson's shadow, to come out of that. I know it's been a good 7-8 years, but you still sort of, every year they compete, you'll always compare it with some season that Ferguson had, or some great season under him, which needs to stop, right? I mean, there has to be a stop to that. I know he was there at the club for a good great number of years and great period of time, but there always is that a new start, which I think Manchester United is still sort of struggling with, and there is that project which is missing to achieve a goal, or to get that finishing in the top 4 is not a goal. You should always aim for the Premier League right
No,
now.
that might be a goal for a lower tier team, right? It can be a
Right.
goal for Tottenham. But as a Manchester United team, as a team which has won most number of Premier Leagues now, or it's leveled with Liverpool now,
Yeah.
you would want to win a league, or so when Ole came. So last season was his first complete season, and
Correct.
the kind of steps. So there were obviously a lot of criticism against him, but you could see what he has done. So now retrospectively seeing that season, he let go of important players which he felt were not would not play in his method of playing. So Lukaku left, Sanchez left, Young left,
Right.
and that was without a fuzz, right? There was no, usually Manchester United players who come in big, they go out big as well, right? There's a big gaga over them leaving the club, or so that kind of thing did not really happen. And then people who criticized Ole, talking about Sanchez has left now, Lukaku has left now, so who do you think will take up that mantle? And I think the confidence he showed on Rashford and Martial kind of paid off, right? They played really well. And then obviously Greenwood also now. But then these are still, like Martial and Rashford are not, but then Greenwood he's still a youngster. You can't expect him to have an amazing form at the age of 19 for a complete season, right? He also needs mentoring, and especially mentoring on the pitch by somebody he sees up to. And Manchester United is that club who can get or pull as many as players they want, which they are not doing. That's my disappointment.
Right.
See, so people talk about Ole, he's a bad coach, he's a bad manager, or he's a good manager. But I feel whatever he is, he's the best that we have got right now. Right?
Yeah,
in the given scenario, he knows the academy. He knows which player to pull. He knows what kind of, because he was part of the system, right? So
right.
and as fans, we are very impatient with managers right now, right? That happens, right? If the manager doesn't perform, like, okay, fire him, get a new one. and he would press that so-called restart button on the team, and team will automatically perform well like in fucking laptop, right? But that doesn't really happen in a team. There are so many mind, there's management, there are coaching staff, there are players and all that put together. So I think Ole is in a very right spot to demand for players now. He can go ahead to the management and say, okay, guess what, guys, I need this guy. So unfortunately, I don't see that happening, and which is why I am so disappointed as a Man U fan.
I think what's wrong right now with the club is the management rather than the manager.
Yeah. True.
I think manager is good. He can only do what is in his power, or with the players that he got, he can only do so much. But you cannot rely on. You cannot rely on youngsters year on year, right? I mean, that's what Chelsea also did, right? I mean, they did not play bad last season. They finished fourth, which is which nobody expected. But then they went ahead and bought some established players because they know they're not gonna, it's not gonna be the same year. They're gonna be inconsistent. It's not gonna be the consistency is gonna be an issue. So they went ahead and got some established players, and I think United right now, except for Greenwood, I mean, you cannot. Rashford, Martial, Bruno Fernandes is playing really well. There's Pogba. So there is a good bunch of players, but I think there's just one or two positions where you can probably improve much better. Probably a centre back next to Maguire. And you already have Dean Henderson coming back to the club. So he's going to challenge for the goalkeeping position to De Gea. But I think... the only problem right now, I think, is the squad is probably a little thinner because you don't have alternates.
Exactly.
You don't have alternatives to play. But yeah, definitely there has to be some sort of signings to, if you have to challenge for the title.
So quick, like as you said, just adding on to that about how thin our squad is. Okay, so right now Pogba is tested positive, right? So,
correct.
So hopefully he recovers well and all that happens. But see, COVID is not gonna go this fast, right? So if players, so say a couple of months later, somebody is positive, or somebody gets an injury, who replaces Rashford, or who replaces Pogba, or who replaces Bruno Mars? So when you think in that perspective, our squad is like Manchester United squad is very thin, right? So now what really happens? I don't know, like, so if how is the management thinking about it? You don't really get to know, and it's a very unfortunate scene. I hope they would, I'm just want to close this up as fast as possible. Don't want to stretch it. I hope they get some players in, or some sort of planning that is seen. I don't want Man U to win Premier League tomorrow, but I want them to win it in a way that I feel that they can keep on winning it back to back.
Yeah.
Right? I want that. I don't want a one-time wonder team. I want a consistent team which he doesn't, even if it doesn't win consistently, but at least challenges for that top one spot, right? So that doesn't come with one Pogba, one Greenwood. It comes with a team which has at least 5 or 6 people in front, competing for the same position, which you can see in City, right? So. And going to City, Karthik, how much would you rate them in this transfer season? They have done as much as possible. They knew about their backline was little iffy, and then they got Ake in it, and
they got Torres as well to replace Sane, who's gone to Bayern. So I think they have done well. I would still give it a 6 out of 10 unless they can pull off, pull the rabbit out of the hat. Or the elephant out of the hat, which we've been hearing. So let's address that. Let's talk about Messi. What do you think? Is he gonna reunite with Pep and his best friend Aguero?
Okay, so everything that I'm reading right now is people are getting it from random places based on some random rumor. So couple of things. Let us make it correct, right? So let's talk about facts first. So he has 100% given a transfer request.
Right.
That has happened. And the club has also accepted it. So there are certain... So Messi has a very different contract than a normal player, right? He can move for free. But it has to be at the end of the season. Right. So everything is come down to technicality of the agreement that he has with the club, right? So because of COVID hitting, so this is not technically end of the season. But it is end of season if it was a normal year, right?
Yeah, but then as I've read or as I've seen, what I've read is there's no date mentioned in the contract. It just says end of the season. Now Barcelona is arguing that fuck COVID. This the end of the season is 30th of June or
Exactly. So
10th
yeah,
of June or something like that, right?
it will come down to that technicality of the words that are written in the contract, which was obviously not thought, which they obviously can't think about COVID happening, right? So now, having said that, so there are good rumors about Messi joining Pep Guardiola in City. Obviously, Aguero is there already. They are the best friends, and Argentina, that connection.
Yeah.
And Pep Guardiola, Barcelona connection. That sounds really
There-
interesting.
There's Otamendi as well,
Oh yeah.
just to add into the mix.
Oh, so if you're talking about Manchester for that sake, so there is Rojo as well.
In the city, yeah.
So now, so when you're talking about all this, right? But then I feel that Manchester is still not London,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, or it's still not Paris, and he lives in Barcelona, right? So he lives still in a sunny place, which is
Yeah.
kind of weather-wise at least better than North UK.
I mean, before that, I just want to talk about how big a decision is this for Messi, right? We're not talking about Barcelona, but Messi, he has been at the club for almost 20 years now, right? So he has his family there. His parents stay in Barcelona. So to move your, to completely move your family where you're settled. I read that he has about 3 or 4 houses in Barcelona. He has a beach. He stays in a very quiet, calm place where he really loves. He said again and again that this is a place that he wants to live his entire life. But to change all of that, he's ready to uproot his family from there. Move to a different city. That's definitely has to be hard. So that's a big decision for him, right? And leaving a club like Barcelona, where people probably wouldn't even imagine Messi playing in a different team. So that's a really big decision for him. And of course, we can be pretty sure that he has been thinking about this for quite some time now. It's not just right after the Champions League game against Bayern he just thought, oh, you know what, I'm going to leave Barcelona. I don't think it's that. He's been thinking about it probably for a good amount of time, and then he's just said it's done. It's enough is enough. I just want to leave.
And then surprisingly, Karthik, fans are with him, right? You see people protesting, but not against him, though. So they are with him, for him. They know that the reason why he's moving is because of the management, right? And
Exactly. And then as a football fan, you know that he's given everything that he's got to Barcelona. And if it's a two-way relation, right? Any job that you do, it's always a two-way relationship. You give something, you expect the same thing back. Where Messi is given everything, but if he's not getting that back, or if his demands are not being met, of course that there's gonna be a time when he says, it's done now. I'm gonna move out.
yeah, so I think Karthik, what is happening with Messi right now is, so he knows what is disappointment in football, because when he plays for Argentina, he knows that, right?
Yeah.
so he knows what is disappointment, but he can always go back to his Barcelona side, which wins a random cup every year, right? But which is not happening now too. So he's like, oh fuck, Argentina happening all over again in Barcelona. So he's like, oh, I wanna make that move right now.
Yeah, I mean, and if you also see the transfers have failed miserably, right, over the years. There's Coutinho, 135 million. There's Griezmann, who's not played well. Now, I mean, I can go on and on. The list goes on and on for the past couple of years, and they have not gone well, or these players have not played or up to their mark. So it's obviously frustrating, right? Once you have played with people like Ronaldinho, Thierry Henry, Xavi, it's difficult, right? Now you are the only one who's playing for the team. We already spoke about this. That reaction that he had in the last La Liga match.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
He's like, I'm the only fucking one playing here. So
Mm-hmm.
I think his time is done. I don't think Barcelona should stop him if he wants to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Then how does he play next season? What do you think his mindset would be to play in Barcelona if they force him to stay? Because if Barcelona demands his release clause 700
Mm-hmm.
million, I don't think any club is going to pay that.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
true, right? And if you see on the flip side, if Messi leaves Barcelona, and I think it's will be a blessing in disguise where for a lot of players who are there,
yeah.
it'll be a Messi is around that age. It probably would pay two seasons max, where two good seasons max or three, if he's Zaltan. But but if you see on a very serious note, if you talk about Messi, if he would have been in Barcelona, and Barcelona would have never tried to push him off, right? How
Yeah.
Chelsea did with Lampard. Burn. But that Barcelona could have never done. So this is kind of players who are young, who are playing in that position would come in, and Barcelona might get a head start on Messi retiring. Otherwise, he would have retired in Barcelona.
Yeah.
It's a good thing for Barcelona as well. But if they see this, and if Messi goes to a club where he finds success, which he's looking for, I think PSG would be a good option for him. He's going to London.
I mean, if he Paris, if he goes to PSG, he's definitely gonna win cups. That is one for sure,
Yep,
right?
correct.
At least two cups, at least two or three cups that season. But I think the only two clubs who can afford him right now are PSG and City.
Yeah,
It's not just his cost; it's also the
his
wages that
wages, yeah.
he that
And he's
which is a
drawing some
huge.
crazy wages too.
Yeah, so I think that's that. So let's end it. So what's your pick? Where does he go? Let's end with that. What do you
I
think? Where
somehow
does he
feel
go?
he'll stay in Barcelona.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Manchester City because I really want to see him play in Premier League and see how he does it. I'm
For
sure he's
that,
gonna
for
be
that only reason. For that only reason.
for that only reason to see him play in Premier League. Also because people talk about people might not be able to perform in the Premier League when they come in, but we have seen him destroy Premier League teams every year in Champions League. So I would love to see him play, and for that only reason I want him in the Premier League. I'm not going to say Manchester City, but yeah, in the
Yeah,
Premier
so
League.
that was the thing. So for that only reason, he might come
Yeah.
to Man City is why I don't want him to come to Premier League. Apart from that, I think Messi, I think would find a better, I think he's doing this for what he wants to do, which is basically sticking to the club, or he wants to change in the management. He might stay in Barcelona, which is also a good option for him, which might also help. So anyways, Ronald Koeman has come in. So let's see how it works out. You guys, please let us know what do you think about where would Messi go, or you think he would stay in Barcelona. Please put down the comments. And just before ending this podcast, I want to know. So let's also cover up small things that are happening around Premier League. Let's talk about what's happening with Maguire. Let's talk about how Grealish got snubbed for the England squad.
I think that was harsh, right? I think Grealish had a great season. He sort of managed to keep Villa in the Premier League, and to snub him off the national team, I think that was harsh on him. Uh, I don't know why that. Do you think it's because he is not from a big six club?
Yes. Before you ask me the question, yes. The answer is yes.
So I think that was hard. Maguire, we don't know what the real story is. He said he thought he was being kidnapped, and then the lawyers completely destroyed him,
He
saying
thought
that that's
he was getting kidnapped, and if anybody can kidnap Maguire, kudos to
exactly.
them.
Yeah, he's a huge fucking guy, dude. So
Yeah, so kudos to you guys if you can. So let's see where. So we unfortunately, because of all this, he has also lost his call for England squad. That has also happened.
Yeah.
Right? So it's whatever it's going to be. It's going to be a very interesting story when once Maguire actually comes back to Premier League and talks about it. Let's see how does that work out.
yeah, let's see. All right, should we end it, Amit? We should.
Random big ना बात ही नहीं किया तूने.
But, yeah, so a couple more transfers, right, Amit? There's Rodriguez might come to Everton, team up again with Ancelotti. There's a pretty good rumor for you. Van de Beek who is being rumored, to be chased on by United and Tottenham. And that would be hard if he goes to Tottenham for you.
Yeah, let me start with Rodriguez, right? I think a couple of years back we were bidding for him big time when he went to when he went to Bayern for
On a
hitting the
loan.
bench. Yeah, just sitting there chilling. He was just very Bale-esque move by Rodriguez, and now he's gonna come to Everton. Fucking serves him right. So this is what I hate, right? So these players could have come to Manchester United, become, and especially I still feel Manu is in that struggling period. If somebody comes in, pulls out, that those kind of wins that they can just become. This is the easiest time to become Manu legend for any player. Just come in, score those goals, become the fucking legend. But then, yeah, he opted out. He wanted to be in Bayern, which he did. He would have probably won more, cups sitting on the bench.
Yeah, which he did.
Yeah, he did that. So just by chilling, he won more cups than Manu struggling hard on the pitch. It didn't win any. Right? Now he's gonna come to Everton and let's see what happens with him. How many cups he wins there? Fuck you, Rodriguez.
So coming back to Van de Beek, right? So he's had amazing seasons at Ajax. He's had amazing seasons at Ajax. He's also sort of rumored to go to Barcelona, which might actually happen given Ronald Koeman, his country manager, who is getting all the Dutch people, to Barcelona. And then he also has Frank de Jong, who he's played with in Ajax. So that I think there's a more chance if Barcelona goes in for him. But I would really like to see Manu at least sign one player,
Karthik, I'll tell you
just
something.
to have that run.
Especially about any rumor that is connected to Manchester United. If you are a fan of, and if you're a true fan of Manu, okay, so this is to people all out who are listening to us. If you're a true Manu fan, a rumor is still a rumor till you see Manu tweeting it or officially happening. So until unless this happens officially, I have zero emotions for it. Okay, because over the years I celebrated for a lot of players who never even remotely were linked to Manchester United, but they were just rumors. So let's see what happens. Fingers crossed, something good happens for Manu. And on that positive note for Manchester United, guys, we would like to close this podcast. Please listen to our podcast in all the platforms that are linked below. And please leave a like and let us know what do you think we can add. Give us your feedback. Thank you so much for listening today. And
we'll be back with season 2. Cheers.